after space, I knew I wanted to do something, I wanted to do something significant. And I had been contacting this company for 3 years, and it just wasn't right. My entire emphasis was going to space. And then I found out that this deep ocean trip, this trip to the bottom of Challenger Deep, which is the bottom of the Mariana Trench, would that the owner of the submarine and the ship that takes people there, and that's been doing research there for the last like 3.5 years, he sold the both vehicles. Last opportunity for anyone like me to go down for what could be a decade, perhaps longer, perhaps ever. Right. Because this is the one full ocean depth submarine that is available to go down to 36,000 feet. It turns out the seat opened up, and I was just fortuitous. I reached out to the company that organizes it, and they're like, "Yeah, hey, we just had a cancellation. Do you want to go?" And I'm like, "I'm in." Got on the ship. I'm going to do it in your turn, on your days. We got on the ship on July 1st. Okay. Went through. We were in Guam. We went 210 nautical miles, sailed out of the port of Guam, sailed out 210 nautical miles to the Mariana Trench, which is over near the Philippines. And it's 210, it's 1,600 miles long and about 40 miles wide. And we went to the 3 deepest pools within the trench. And we did some training of what a dive consists of. So we did that training, and then I went on July 4th, which was cool. When everyone was watching fireworks here, I was heading down into the deep, the deep abyss. So then it's 4 hours from the sea level straight down, and we're falling like 6-8 feet per second. I mean, we're just plummeting to the bottom, and it still takes 4 hours. Pressure. It's a fascinating place because after about 1,000 feet, there is zero sunlight. It's like space in that what was so remarkable about space was, yes, the Earth, but the blackness of the universe. Let me tell you, there is no light at the bottom. Wow. I mean, after about 1,000 feet, 300, maybe 350 meters, there is nothing. Like, you look out we had 3 small portholes, and it is black. You turn the lights off, it is black. And when you get down, it is cold. It's 1 degree above freezing. Okay. I mean, I have my gloves that I brought, my UNC gloves. I had a fleece, a flannel on. I had my flight suit, a Carolina hat, and I mean, we were. I mean, it's cold. So you've got salt water, no sunlight, and these crushing pressures, and yet things still survive down there. And they don't only just survive, they thrive. This is the size of a wig head. You know, like a wig head, you go to like a hairdresser shop and they have like a wig on top of it.
Yes.
That is normally the size of a human face. Okay. So this traveled outside the submarine that went to the bottom of the ocean. And this is an illustration of not an illustration. This is what happens to a styrofoam head at 36,000 feet below sea level, and how much pressure, what it does to like an object like that. So this would basically be like the size of your head if you were outside. Well, we had baited the lander with some fish. And so arthropods, they're unique to like that, are unique to the bottom of the Mariana Trench. And when you think about it, they thrive in an environment that has no sunlight, cold, and then the crushing pressure. And what's fascinating is they and other species like them, they grow these really, so that arthropod, unlike the shrimp that we eat, actually grow a really strong, there's a lot of shell to that and very little animal. The most fascinating thing were the bacterial mats. And what a bacterial mat is we all know about photosynthesis, which is essentially the life form that everything on Earth. Well, at that pressure, with all of those, with all of those circumstances that we discussed, no oxygen, right? Oh, no sunlight, crushing pressure, cold, everything kind of going against it. Life thrives down there, as we've seen, but bacterial mats are chemosynthetic as opposed to photosynthetic. The chemicals to survive because they have no other ways. Here I am in this little titanium ball at the bottom of the ocean, and I have this epiphany that I'm looking at these things and I'm like, that is what lives on other celestial moons or on other planets. If we were to go to Jupiter's moon, that's likely what would be on, living there. So it was a once in a lifetime thing. I actually didn't think going there that, anything could live up to going to space situation, and having felt like, gosh, it's like I have a seat on a Mars rover, and seeing those bacterial mats, to me, that was exciting as going to space. I loved every bit of that. I could have done that, just like I could have been in space, stayed in space forever. I just thought that was, when I got back on board the ship, I was effusive. I clearly, and I still have it now, the overview effect, or maybe instead of the overview effect for space, let's call it the underview effect for going to the bottom of the Earth, because that was spectacular.